I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I do not like gimbals as a whole. They're big, they're cumbersome, they're hard to carry around and stuff like that. I like the smaller gimbals, but typically with the smaller gimbals, you know, you gotta deal with the compromises. Typically they're cheap or the payload capacity is just trash. And there's a gimbal that changes all of that. Enter the Crane M3. What's up, y'all? Tight Shirt Terry Warfield back in the building for another video. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's cut right into the meat potatoes, yo. The Crane M3. I freaking love this gimbal. Now, a few things I gotta say real quick. Number one, we ain't getting to all the techie stuff. Number two, I got a whole lot to say, so sit your behind down and listen. Number three, Zhiyun did send me this Crane M3, I'm sorry, for review. But that don't mean that they get input on this video. That don't mean that Zhiyun can't get these buckets when it comes to the Crane M3. Fortunately for them, there's not a whole lot of bad stuff I have to say. Now, there are 3 kits you can get with the Crane M3. The cheapest one is just the base model that comes with just the crane by itself. You can get the combo kit, which comes with this snazzy bag. Doesn't this bag just yell out steal me or jack me for my camera gear? It's a very nice quality bag. I'm like super impressed with the quality. Was not expecting this. And I get it, it's gotta match the scheme of the gimbal, but I'm not walking around with no bright white bag on my back, especially with a camera in my hand. Everybody knows that, hey, that dude got some camera gear on him, but nonetheless, very nice bag. With the combo kit, you also get the cell phone holder to mount your cell phone to this gimbal. If you go with the Pro kit, it actually comes with the expansion base, which has an extra 1/4-20 mount on it. It has a full-size audio input, and then on the other side, for your camera control so that you can connect the gimbal to the camera. Now, one thing I love about this setup, yo, for it to be so small, I know a lot of bigger gimbals have these features built into them, but the smaller ones, typically there's no audio pass through and stuff like that. So the fact that you get audio pass through, you can connect the camera to the gimbal and control the camera with the gimbal, although I don't typically do that. It's super clutch in my opinion. Now let's talk about this microphone a little bit more. In Zhiyun's little promo video, they got a dude literally running with the gimbal with this big long cord connected to the microphone. I don't think that's practical. I don't think there's any practical use these days for a corded microphone out if you're doing like vlog stuff or interviewing other people, especially with options like Rode wireless goes and all that stuff. You could just connect them wirelessly, but neither here nor there. I'm actually going to use this for my studio mic. So this is the quality coming out the mic right now. You can let me know what you think about the quality down in the comments, but you get all of this stuff in the bag. The other thing that you get in the bag, one thing y'all have probably seen already, is the fact that there's a built-in vlog light on this gimbal, which is crazy, right? Where there's magnetic gels that you can use to put on top of that. Although this is a bicolor LED, you can put different gels on the front if you needed to freaking change it. But that's what you get in the bag if you go with the Pro kit. A lot of good stuff in the bag. The next thing I want to talk about is the build quality, because listen, most small gimbals are just crap, junk. They're built like plastic junk, and this is the first small gimbal I've ever used that is not built that way. First of all, let's talk about the looks. I'm a big snob when it comes to how my gadgets look. I ain't made that no secret with y'all. This looks fantastic. I love the white on black stormtrooper look. The gimbal feels very sturdy. It does not feel like a cheap plastic gimbal at all. On the front of it, you got the rubberized grip. All of the knobs and buttons feel great. They feel tactile. The only thing I can probably argue with this from a physical perspective is the power button. I do not like the power button. It lays flat against the side, so you know, I just think that being in your camera bag or something like that, it's easy for something to just press that and turn the gimbal on, and you know, you show up to whatever you're trying to shoot, your freaking gimbal battery is dead. But whatever. USB-C, I love the Crane illuminated logo on the side. Like, it's just a very well made and very well thought out gimbal. You got locks on all of the axes, or however you freaking say that. The joystick works really nice and good. It's nice and tactile. You can press it in. It's a nice satisfying click when you push it in. The table tripod it comes with is actually really good quality. Let me turn this gimbal off real quick. So to take your camera off. Literally all you do is press the unlock button. The little adapter plate that comes with the gimbal just screws onto the bottom, and there's a proprietary wedge that plugs right into the gimbal. So the good thing is once you have this balanced, as long as you have this plate on there, you can literally just snatch the camera on and off. As long as you don't change anything on there, put it right back on and it'll still be perfectly balanced. Only thing I don't like about it is the thumb screw on the bottom. Now obviously it's really good, it's really easy to put it on, but when it comes to like sitting the camera down on something, it creates an uneven surface. I'm nitpicking here, but to put it back on, you literally just slide it into place and turn the gimbal back on and you are good to go. Now let's talk about capacity real quick. I have used this gimbal with my phone, my ZV-1, my ZV-E10, and also my A7 IV and my A7S III. The only problems I have is when you put a bigger lens on here. Obviously, if you look at the motors, all of the motors are super close together. So there's not a lot of wiggle room when it comes to being able to slide the camera back real far or forward far enough without, you know, your center of gravity being thrown off. So as long as you put a small camera on here or a camera like the A7 III, EOS R, any small mirrorless camera and a small lens on there, you'll be good. And you can still clear it when you undersling it. The only thing I had to do with my A7S III was take off the eyepiece, because the eyepiece with the lens I was using, because when I tried to go underslung like that, it was hitting the rear motor. But all in all, like, I'm super impressed with a gimbal this small being able to handle that type of payload. Now when it comes to freaking stabilizing the footage, I mean, it's a gimbal. Honestly, all modern gimbals are great when it comes to stabilizing. You know, your 4th axis wobble, you do have to work to control it because it's only a 3-axis gimbal, but it does a good job. The only time I saw any type of bobbing is when I put a heavier lens on the front, and obviously it's too heavy for the motors to fully compensate for it. So just be mindful of that. It is still a small gimbal, albeit powerful. Now the next thing, let's talk about the modes real quick. By the way, this screen on the back is super responsive, super handy dandy. I love gimbals that have screens on them. Good job, Zhiyun. But you have your pan follow, which is typical, your lock, which is typical, keeps it at the front, your follow, which is typical, your POV mode, so it follows all of your movements, your go mode, which is like a sport mode, your vortex mode, which gives you that spiral-like effect, and portrait mode, which is one thing I really like about this. With this being a small gimbal, obviously we're going to be using this to create content for like reels and shorts and stuff like that. Yo, goes right into portrait mode. Super clutch. Now the next thing I want to talk about is this LED on the front. So to turn it on, you just hold down the thumb wheel on the side. I'll turn it off and then turn it back on again. You hold that down for about 2 seconds. It is adjustable, so you can make it dimmer, you can make it brighter. You can also adjust the Kelvin on here because it is a bicolor LED. Now again, you get those LED gels in the box, but this is very useful. I think it's bright enough to light up a small room for you to film somebody in, or if you need to vlog with it, you know, you could just point it at yourself if it's a dark room or whatever and get just enough fill light to light your face to make your shot usable. I think that's a super clutch feature. All in all, I'm so impressed with this little gimbal. There is just so much to love about this freaking gimbal. I can only find one negative, and that's the power button. Everything else about it I love. The quality, the performance, the stability, the easy use, how well thought out all the controls are. The expansion module at the bottom, you can just plug in a microphone, connect it to your camera, pass through all your audio. Comes with a nice microphone in the Pro Kit. Very small, powerful enough to stabilize even our bigger mirrorless cameras like the A7 IV, the Canon R5, as long as you put a small lens on them. And it's at a decent price point, although the Pro Kit is kind of expensive. If you are looking for a gimbal, a small one, a lightweight one, a powerful one that's not cheaply built, all that stuff, there's no other gimbal out there that is this small that packs this type of freaking punch. So anyways, links will be in the description. Let me know what y'all think about it. Almost dropped it. Let me know what y'all think about it down in the comments, and I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Till next time, piece of chicken grease, Terry Warfield, I'm out. Peace.